Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Soraya, and today I wanted to make a YouTube video because I am sick and shut in and I have nothing better to do except to bring another video to my thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I wanted to talk actually about financial literacy. So if you were to Google financial literacy, you'll probably see like a lot of diagrams and things and bullet points explaining what it is. I just kind of wanted to break it down and put it into 5 easy steps. And you can see this also other places, but they kind of, they'll call it different things, but it all pretty much bundles up to the same thing. And this is what I like to go by because I think it pretty much lumps things together in a way that's really easy to understand and to follow. So as usual, I have it written down here in front of me and we're gonna get started. So number one, most important thing, cannot stress this enough. I don't know, it's like literally top tier icing on the cake is budgeting. So in order to have good financial literacy, you have to understand how to budget and not just how to write down, okay, I just want to spend this and spend this and spend this. No, it's not just writing it down. You actually have to implement it. When it comes to budgeting, there's really only 2 things. You've got earning and you have spending. That's it. You can't, it's separated, but literally earning and spending go hand in hand. Whatever you earn is all you have, and then however you spend that will determine how your funds help you in the long run. So really taking the time to not just write down your budget, but learning how to implement your budget is step number 1. And you can't do any of these following things if you don't know how to stick to a budget. I would love to make a video on budgeting. In fact, I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm going to make a series on this. So each of these bullet points, it's going to receive its own video. And budgeting, of course, is going to be number 1. I'm going to show you how I plan out all the expenses that I have in a month, or not only for the month, but also goals that I have for a quarter or a month or a year, and how I make a practical budget, something that you can actually do. Don't go around making a budget. If you make, $2,000 a month, don't have like $1,900, going towards, if you have $1,900 going towards your expenses and you only make $2,000 a month, then we really need to talk. I mean, some things are out of your control, but up to a point, it's like, we need to figure out a better way to make that work. But it's not just saying, okay, I make $2,000 a month, I'm finally gonna start budgeting and now I'm gonna be saving $1,500 a month, or my expenses are $1,900 a month. I'm gonna save $100 a month. And you're telling yourself now all of a sudden, if you were making $2,000 and your expenses are $1,900, you're about to start saving that extra $100 that you made? You're about to start saving that? I don't think so. That's not practical, and you're not going to be able to stick to it, and it's not going to work. So number 1 is making a budget that is first written down, all the expenses are clear. 2, it's implementable, as in it's a practical thing that you're able to follow without feeling like you're restricting yourself too much. And 3, it is, it's implementable. It's just something that you're actually going to do, because it's going to lead into step number 2, which is saving. Pillar number 2, which is saving your money. When I'm talking about earning and spending with budgeting, like I did in step 1, spending is not just what you put towards other people, it's also what you put towards yourself. If you don't have a good savings habit right now, this is your sign to start learning how to save. And a lot of people that I have helped with like just their monthly budgets and things like that will tell me that they don't have enough money to save. They don't make enough money to save. Let me tell you something about saving and spending. You will always make money. I mean, unless you're out of a job at the moment or something like that, some kind of unforeseen circumstance, you will always be making money, right? No matter what, whether you're making $100 a week, whether you're making $1,000 a week, whether you're making $5,000 a week, you're always making money. Whether or not you know how to save any of it is up to you. So I always say, sometimes it's not always about how much you save, but being able to make the habit of saving. Even if you only start saving $20 a month, $5 a check, or not a check, depending on how often you get paid, $5 a week. Even if you're only saving $5 a week, at least you're learning how to save something. And that's more than a lot of people can say. So don't get so stressed out in the beginning, especially when you're first learning to budget, about how much you can save. Oh my God, I can only save $5 a week. You know what I'm saying? You may need an oil change at the end of the month, and if you had not saved $5 a week, you wouldn't have $20 for an oil change. I don't know how much an oil change costs. You know, I have people for that, but you understand my point. Getting into the habit of saving is VIP, most important person in the room. Because when you learn how to save, we can move on to step 3, which is investing. And I want to make a video. Oh my God, I wanted to make a video on investing for a minute. As you can see, I get so passionate talking about this stuff. I get so excited. I'm out of breath because all of these things are so important. Investing your money wisely. If I see another Robinhood commercial, I'm gonna cry because it has people thinking that they can just throw some money at a company, at a publicly traded company, and their stock is they're just gonna get rich. You know what I mean? There are millions of publicly traded companies that offer stocks. They are looking for funds to finance their business. That is what they're doing, and you're not going to, just get rich overnight investing, just throwing your money at these companies. There are things that you have to follow, like the news, to understand what's going on in the world and what could be impacting the stock market, right now as we speak. There are trainings that people go through in order to understand how to move people's money and move investments to secure the dividends that they are looking to get. This is a topic that requires a lot of attention, and I just wish that some of these people that are advertising these products wouldn't be so quick to have people who are uneducated on the process throwing their money out, because you could lose that money. And there's like 5 companies, people talk to me about cryptocurrency, people talk to me about, if I would have just invested in Amazon, if I would have just invested in Facebook, this could be the next Amazon, this could be the next Facebook. Anything could be the next Amazon or Facebook or something like that. But out of millions of companies, there's like those top 5 anomalies. And lots of work went into building those companies. It's just not going to happen overnight. So I really want to make a video on that, talking about where you can invest your money, how to learn about investments, and all sorts of things like that. How to not lose your money, how to get around like-minded people who are also investing wisely, financial advisors. If you don't know, that's what I'm going to school to learn. I'm going to school to learn financial planning and obviously taxes, but that's not the fun part to me. But yeah, that is a very important part, is investing your money wisely as well. Number 4 would be borrowing. When it comes to borrowing, I think there's 2 really important things to pay attention to. One thing would be your credit, and then the other thing would be interest rates. They kind of go hand in hand. You're going to want to pay attention to what your credit is, what's impacting your credit score, what does your credit score mean. beyond your credit score? What do certain things that are on your credit report in general mean? And how that will affect your interest rate and your borrowing capacity? And what does that interest rate mean when it comes to the extent of how much you'll be paying back in the long term? It's like buying a car. If you buy a car, are you more interested in how much you'll be paying a month, or are you more interested in your interest rate? And if you're more interested in how much you will be paying a month, you still need to understand the interest rate, because that's the difference between a $15,000 car and a $26,000 car, or whatever it may be, your house, whatever you're borrowing money for, interest. You don't want to be stuck, paying $6,000, $10,000, $15,000 over what the actual value of the car is, or whatever item is. Especially, and here's something to consider before I move on. I have a friend, I won't say who, I hope they don't kill me for saying this, but who bought a car that was, at the time they didn't know, it was listed at about $10,000 over the MSRP. Interest rate was crazy, stupid high, and they bought it because they had this emotional connection and they wanted to do it. Monthly payment was high too, so there was really no upside to that. However, when they wanted to go and refinance for a lower interest rate, because you're listening to these people who are trying to sell you on the car that they want you to buy, you find out that you actually paid way over what the car is even valued. So you're going to have to pay that gap between what the car is worth and what you owe on the loan. Do you see what I'm saying? In order to even consider refinancing the car for a lower interest rate. So what I'm saying is interest rates are something to consider before you get yourself into a situation where you're looking for a lower one. Know what you're getting into. Is my point with that story. I know I ramble, but that was my point with that story, if I even got it across. And then number 5 is protecting. So this is just exactly what it says, protecting your financial future. This is going to do with risk management, identity theft, retirement, anything that has to do with planning and protecting for the future of your personal finances and your lineage's finances, in terms of maybe what you will leave to them, or the financial burdens they will have, when you pass. These are things that are really real and do affect people's lives. So, and especially, I don't know if I mentioned, but I work in a bank, and I've actually helped a few people who've had to deal with identity theft. It's not that uncommon. Think about how many spam calls you get, how many, especially if you're in like the borrowing area, where you're going to borrow money from like payday sites, or all these websites that offer loans, how many times that you've given out your personal information over the internet. Sometimes you could be so desperate for money that you're not even thinking about, who is really on the other side of where your personal information is going, or just in general, how many times you've just given your information out. Identity theft is easier now than it has ever been before. So hopefully this next series of videos that I put out helps with your financial literacy. I know there are a lot of young adults out there like me, or who don't have a good enough understanding on the reality of finances as we should, and that's because they don't teach it like they should. And all these people on the internet are selling dreams, and they're not selling reality. And reality is, these are things you have to know if you don't want to struggle financially throughout life. These are the things that the people at the top of the chain are talking about amongst other people and learning from amongst other people. And I want to make sure that we all have that understanding that we can make an impact on our financial lives and do great things no matter what it may be. So next video, I'm going to be showing you how I do my monthly budget and how I plan for goals that I have for the month or for the year. And if anyone has any questions on budgeting that they'd like me to kind of touch on whenever I do my budgeting video, which will go up next week, please leave it down in the comments. You know, I would love to hear from you and I would love to help. So until next time, thank you for watching my video. I really hope that I get better at rambling, because I always go off on a tangent. But I think that's what makes me special. Okay, so until next time, thank you for watching and please subscribe. I love you. Bye.